Welcome back to Books and Bites. Ready for another deep dive? Today we're taking on Nexus by Yuval Noah Harari.
Fascinating choice.
It's all about information networks, from like the dawn of humanity to the age of AI.
Well, that's a pretty broad scope.
Right, but the thing that hooked me was how Harari frames information. It's not just about facts and data. He sees it as the very glue that holds societies together.
It's this social nexus he talks about, this invisible web that connects us, influences our beliefs, and shapes how civilizations evolve.
Okay, I can already tell this is going to be good. But let's break it down. What does this social nexus actually look like in action?
Well, imagine our earliest ancestors gathered around a fire, sharing stories.
Campfire tales.
Exactly. Those stories, myths, rituals, they weren't just entertainment. They helped build trust and cooperation, even in large groups.
So even if the stories weren't true in a factual sense.
They created a shared reality, this foundation of shared beliefs and values. It's like storytelling was our first social network.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. But then things got more complex, right?
Definitely. The invention of writing was a game changer.
It's like suddenly information could be stored and shared in a whole new way.
Precisely. You could transmit knowledge across vast distances and time, which led to the rise of organized religion, bureaucracy, empires. The written word literally reshaped human history.
But as information became more powerful, people started seeking out those sources of absolute truth, right? Like, this is the one right answer.
That's right. We crave certainty. But what Harari shows is that clinging to absolute truth, whether it's a holy book or a political ideology, can lead to rigidity. You stop questioning, stop adapting, and that can be dangerous.
It's like getting stuck in a rut. And maybe that's where the difference between democracies and totalitarian regimes comes in, like Harari talks about.
That's a really insightful connection. Democracies, with their emphasis on free speech and debate, they're more like open systems. They can self-correct as new information emerges.
Whereas totalitarian regimes, they try to control the flow of information and often end up collapsing under their own weight.
Exactly. It highlights the importance of how a society handles information.
Okay, so we've gone from campfire stories to the printing press. But then, boom, computers arrive.
And that changes everything.
Yeah, computers are more than just another tool. It's like they can process information on their own, make decisions independently.
Harari makes this point really powerfully. Think about something as simple as your Netflix recommendation.
Okay, I do spend a lot of time on Netflix.
It's an algorithm, right? It analyzes your viewing habits, predicts your preferences, and makes choices to influence what you watch next.
That's actually kind of creepy when you put it like that. It's like AI is already shaping our reality in subtle ways.
And that's just the beginning. With the internet, we've entered this era of constant information flow. It's 24/7, it's overwhelming, and it raises all sorts of new challenges.
Right, like how do we filter all this noise? How do we know what to trust?
Harari's point is that critical thinking becomes even more important in this digital world.
So it's not just about learning how to use the technology. It's about learning how to think critically about the information it delivers.
Exactly, because even with these powerful tools, we're still vulnerable to errors, misinformation, manipulation.
We need to be savvy, not just tech savvy.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. From campfire stories to the printing press to the rise of computers and this 24/7 information overload we're all swimming in. But there's this one image from Nexus that really stuck with me, this idea, a digital iron curtain descending on the world.
Yeah, it's a powerful image, isn't it? And it gets to the heart of how technology can be both a force for connection and division.
It's like we think of the internet as this great equalizer, right, bringing people together. But Harari is suggesting that it could actually pull us further apart.
It's almost a paradox. The same technology that allows us to connect with people across the globe can also be used to create these little information bubbles.
Like those filter bubbles we hear so much about.
Exactly. You're constantly fed information that reinforces your existing beliefs, and you're less likely to encounter different perspectives.
So instead of expanding our worldview, the internet can actually narrow it.
And that's what Harari means by the digital iron curtain. He's talking about a world where our access to information, the news we read, even the facts we accept as true, are all shaped by these personalized algorithms.
It's like we're all living in these separate realities tailored to our own biases. That's kind of terrifying when you think about it.
It is, because it makes it much harder to have meaningful conversations across those divides. How do you find common ground when you're literally operating from different sets of facts?
It feels like we're already seeing some of that play out in the real world with political polarization and these intense online echo chambers.
Absolutely, and that's why Harari's warning is so urgent. He's
Right.
saying we need to be aware of these dynamics and actively work against them.
So what can we do? I mean, it feels like these algorithms are getting more powerful and sophisticated all the time. How do we fight back against that?
It starts with awareness, recognizing that we're all susceptible to these filter bubbles and making a conscious effort to step outside of them.
So actively seeking out diverse perspectives.
Exactly. Reading news from different sources, engaging with people who hold different views, even if it makes us uncomfortable.
Easier said than done, right? It's so much easier to just stay in our comfort zones surrounded by people who agree with us.
It is. But it's crucial if we want to avoid this digital iron curtain scenario. And it's not just about individual effort. We also need to hold platforms accountable for the algorithms they use.
So pushing for more transparency and fairness in how these technologies are designed and implemented.
Precisely. We need to demand that these platforms prioritize connection and understanding over clicks and engagement.
Because ultimately, if we lose the ability to have meaningful conversations across differences, we all lose.
That's Harari's point exactly. The future of information is not predetermined. It's something we're actively shaping with every choice we make, every click, every share. And those choices matter.
This is heavy stuff, but I'm glad we're talking about it. But there's one more big piece of the puzzle we haven't explored yet, AI. And this is where things get really mind-bending. We've explored Harari's social nexus, how technology is changing the information game, even the possibility of that digital iron curtain. But buckle up, because now we're diving into the deep end, AI. And let me tell you, this is where Nexus really starts messing with your mind.
It definitely pushes the boundaries. What Harari suggests is that AI could become like an independent force in the information network, not just a tool we use, but an agent that shapes information, sets its own goals, maybe even reshapes reality according to its own logic.
Yeah, when I first got to that part, I was like, hold up, is this science fiction now? But then you start looking around and you see these little glimmers of it already happening.
Right. Think about those algorithms that are constantly curating our online experience, recommending what we should watch, what we should buy. On the surface, they seem like simple tools, but they're making decisions that directly impact our choices.
It's like those algorithms are these little AIs in training, learning our habits, figuring out how to nudge us in certain directions. And Harari saying, this is just the beginning.
Exactly. He's painting a picture of a future where AI systems become so sophisticated they operate on a whole other level. Imagine AI managing entire power grids, making life or death calls in healthcare, even running governments.
Okay, now that's a bit unsettling. I mean, it's one thing for AI to suggest my next favorite song, but running the world, that feels like a whole lot of responsibility to hand over.
It's a huge leap, no doubt. But that's precisely why Harari's bringing it up. He's not saying it's inevitable, but he's urging us to think about it now while we still have a chance to shape how this unfolds.
So what can we actually do? I mean, if AI is developing so fast, how do we stay ahead of the curve?
Harari's big point is it's not about trying to control AI. It's about aligning it with human values. Right now, so much of the drive behind AI is efficiency, profit, military applications. We need to shift that focus, make sure AI is serving human well-being, sustainability, things that benefit society as a whole.
Easier said than done. We're still figuring out the ethics of social media, and now we've got super intelligent AI on the horizon.
It's a massive challenge, no question. But that's the message of Nexus. We have a choice. We can sit back and let technology dictate the future, or we can actively participate in shaping it. Investing in AI ethics research, demanding transparency from tech companies, having these tough conversations about what kind of future we want.
I'm hearing a theme here, being informed, engaged, taking responsibility for the information landscape we're creating, whether it's social media or AI.
Absolutely. It's not enough to just read Nexus and go, whoa, that's crazy. We need to take those ideas into the real world. Talk to our friends, engage in public discourse, make conscious choices about the technologies we support. The future of information isn't some predetermined thing. It's something we're all actively shaping.
Wow. This whole deep dive has been a trip, from ancient campfire stories all the way to AI that could reshape the world. Nexus really makes you think, makes you question, and honestly, it makes you want to step up and play a part in shaping this digital future we're all heading into.
It's a powerful book, a real call to action.
If you're ready to explore the wild world of information networks from the Stone Age to the age of AI and beyond, grab a copy of Nexus from the link in the description. And don't forget to subscribe to Books and Bites for more deep dives into the books that are shaping our world. Thanks for joining us.